भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। Singing is going on. They have to. So we are doing this. Kim Tarihi एवं भूतस्य ब्रह्मणः तज्ज्ञानस्य च न कयाचिद् युक्त्या शक्यः कार्यानुप्रवेशः कल्पयितुम्. Up to that we have seen. So that means, that Brahman, the truth, is not an object of either upasana and attitude, a subjective attitude, an emotion, nor is it an object of sense perception. A subjective attitude is called upasana, the devotion. It cannot be literally an object of devotion. Cannot be an object of upasana. One may have devotion to God, knowing very well it is not an objectifier, it is not an object. That's a different thing. But literally it is not an object of upasana. That's one point. The second point is, that's more important. It is not an object of perception, vidikriya. It is neither Purushatantra Vyapara Kriya Vishayam, nor is it vidikriya Vishayam. Both are important. The entire kartrutvam is only within this. See, the entire kartrutvam. Objectification is only this much. Either we imagine and objectify, or we perceive and objectify through the eyes. You see? Either we perceive and objectify, or we imagine and objectify. When we imagine and objectify, then it becomes an object of upasana. And if we perceive and objectify like an object, like a form, sound, etc., then it is an object of perception. So, that means Brahman can neither be imagined nor it can be perceived through the sense organs. So, therefore, it cannot be an object of upasana. Therefore, what is the use of karma? Karma can be done, you can do action for survival. You don't make a big issue out of it. In order to survive, you have to do something. Go to office, work. कुछ नहीं मिलेंगे तो काली कमली क्षेत्र में जाओ. It's a different thing. For survival, action is relevant to survival. But for understanding truth, what is the truth, that is not something, which we can see through the eyes, hear through the ears. It's not an object. So, if it is not an object of perception, then it is also not an object of imagination. Then it is also not an object of attitude, love, hate, etc. Truth can't be an object of love or hate. Truth happens to be the very seer, the one who is aware. He happens to be the truth. The very subject, the experiencer of the waking, dream and deep sleep happens to be the truth. And therefore, truth is a matter for understanding. And that understanding also is in the form of, correcting the misunderstanding. You see, understanding oneself means understanding oneself correctly, contrary to the misunderstanding which one has been living with. That's all. The hitherto present misconception about ourselves, like I am the form, is a misconception. Therefore, correcting this misconception, seeing the difference between the conscious subject and the inert form. You see, discerning between the conscious being and the inert form is the way of understanding the truth. Because it is already felt, existence of the truth is felt. Feeling one's own existence is feeling the existence of the truth. This is not some other feeling. The feeling that I am, the feeling that I am is the feeling about the truth anyway. It is a conscious truth, but without proper knowledge about it. This we have, and therefore the rituals and all that have no role to play in understanding the truth. Rituals are valid, they are nice, they are pleasant, they are useful to perform so that you can get some material results. And material results are useful for survival. You see, only for survival. Nothing beyond. All, like for example, money. How long can it travel with you? Only up to survival. Beyond survival, it has no use. Any material result is useful for my material identity called the body. The material wealth doesn't help me beyond survival. The rituals also are nice, they are useful. The rituals are useful by way of bringing me material results which are useful for survival. And therefore, na kayachit yuktya shakyaha karyanupraveshaha kalpayatum na cha vidikriya karmatvena karyanupraveshaha brahmanaha. And it is also not possible, that Brahman can be an object of perception in order to undertake the act of opening the eyes and seeing it. That vidikriya means, the act of perception. It's not an object of perception. It's not an object of perception because if Brahman were an object of perception, then one would say a blind man can't know the truth, a deaf man can't know the truth. But that's not true. A blind man also can know the truth. A deaf man also can know the truth as long as he is not deaf enough to hear the Shruti. You see, supposing he is deaf to everything else but not deaf to the words of the Shruti, it's good enough. And therefore, anybody can understand the truth. Even if I don't have eyes, I can know the truth because the truth is not an object of perception. Truth is not an object of perception. Why? Because that conscious person is the truth. Therefore, nacha vidikriya karmatvena karyanupraveshaha brahmanaha. And we have a Shruti which says like this. Now let us read. Anyadeva tad viditat atho abhiditadadhim iti vidikriyam karmatvam pratishedhat. That Shruti negates one thing. Anyadeva tad viditat. Brahman is other than what we see through the eyes, what we know through the senses. Anyadeva tad viditat. Vidita. Anyadeva tad viditat. It is other than the object of what is known. It is other than the known. It is other than the known means it is other than the sense object. That is knowable, objectified. Atho and aviditad adi, avyakritat adi. That avidita means underline and write down. Avyakritat adi. It is also other than the unmanifest form. Meaning, viditam is vyakritam, aviditam is avyakritam, and viditam is viditam. Aviditam also is viditam through anumana. That also comes under the viditam. It's a form. The world as manifest is world. The world as unmanifest is also a world. Therefore, viditam is vyakritam, aviditam is avyakritam, and vyakritam and avyakritam both are objectified. It is the form that becomes the manifest, and it is the form that becomes the unmanifest. Therefore, truth is other than the manifest form and the unmanifest form. So once we say it is other than the form, then it means it is other than the manifest form and the unmanifest form. As manifest it is viditam through pratyaksha pramana. As unmanifest it is anumitam. That also comes under viditam. Understand? It is viditam. Avyakritam, as inferred from the Vyakrita point of view, is also viditam. So, it is other than the manifest form and other than the unmanifest form. And therefore, sense organs have no role to play in seeing Brahman. Means, we can't see or we can't infer also. Neither can we see truth nor can we infer truth. We can't infer truth. Hey, if we can't see truth, we can't infer truth, how are we going to imagine it? Oh, we have to imagine it. If we can't see it and infer it, and what is imagination? Imagination is a subjective thing. Because all our imaginations are true to our perceptions and inferences. What we see alone we imagine. You see, our imagination is built on our perceptions. Okay. Anyadeva tad viditadatho aviditadati iti vidikriya karmatva pratishethat. Brahman is mentioned as not an object of perception. Vidikriya karmatva pratisheda. It is not an object of perception. Therefore, if I can't see God here, I can't go to the other world and see God, because there also I have to use the senses. If it is not an object of perception here, then it is not an object of perception in heaven. So if I can't see God here, I can't see God also going to heaven. I can't see God heaven. If I can't see God here, I can't see also God in heaven. Therefore, what is the use of going to heaven? स्वर्ग में जाके क्या करेंगे? Therefore, in this world I have to look at myself to know the truth. And in heaven also I have to look at myself to know the truth. Wherever I go, I have to look at myself. Taking a close look at this very observer is the only way. There is no other way. One's attention has to come back to oneself, as it were. Therefore, there is no use of rituals and actions in the name of spirituality. Perform actions for survival. Therefore, our Punjabi saying, I like it. मैं क्यों काम कर रहे हो? बस 2 रोटी चाहिए. That is much better. That is much better. तो रोटी कमाता हूँ जी. That is an honest statement. That is an honest statement. Why are you doing a job? भिक्षा के लिए. Why are you doing business? भिक्षा के लिए. कृषि, farming, भिक्षा के लिए. वाणिज्यम, भिक्षा के लिए. Service, भिक्षा के लिए. Now you think rituals में भिक्षा के लिए. भिक्षा in time. Because even rituals will bring only भिक्षा. Maybe it will help you gain. पैसा मिलेंगे. What does it mean? थोड़ा यज्ञ याग आदि कराएंगे तो पैसा मिलेंगे. What does it mean? भिक्षा. यज्ञ याग आदि करवाएंगे तो हमारा बिजनेस में विघ्न टल जाएंगे. What does that mean? What does that mean? Bhiksha. If the obstacles go away, then my business will do well, so that I can make money, so that I can get bhiksha. Therefore, what is done with so much of pomp and show is all meant only for pomp and show free do roti. Aji. The entire pomp is for what? Pomp free survival class. Now, don't make an issue out of action and say, don't try to, think of it as a means to truth. Certain prayers are there which are good, silent prayers, which are not rituals. A silent prayer, that prayer also is nice. God help me understand. And that also comes under the law of karma, and it brings about mental purity, and mental purity brings about mental clarity. Mental clarity brings about knowledge. So prayers are wonderful. That is a different matter. Now, the topic right now is how truth is not something which you can see through the eyes or imagine or infer. Next, ye nedam sarvam vijanati tam kena vijaniyat iti cha yena idam sarvam vijanati. In the light of which, with the help of which light, one is aware of everything. That light, how can you objectify? Yena, you see, jnanena, idam sarvam, this whole prapancha, vijanati, one knows, tam, light, see, tam jyoti, that particular jyoti, that particular prakasham, kena vijaniya, kena karanena vijaniya, through which means can you objectify? The light because of which I am aware of everything, the awareness because of which I am aware of everything, that awareness which oneself is, how can I objectify through the senses? And how can I imagine? A light because of which I am aware of the world, that light, how can I see? Because whatever I see is not a light, is a form. It is lighted up. You see, like even, this is the light. And it is lighting up the things. Now the things can't light up the light. The things can't throw light on the light. If the things can't throw light on the light, it is the light that throws light on the things. Things can't throw light on light. Similarly, the light is oneself who is aware. Now, how can this light be illumined by the eyes? The eyes themselves are made functional because of awareness. So that means truth is not something which we can objectify through the senses. That doesn't mean it is not evident, because the one who objectifies himself is the truth. Because awareness is not felt as anything other than the eye, that eye sense. Eye is not a sense really. There is no. Eye is the truth about which there is a false sense. Eye is the truth. You can't do vichara except in terms of the eye. Asmat pratyay vishay. The The I, that is the I of the waking. Aware of the waking, aware of the dream. And the same I, shorn of all relationships and equations, is the absolute. That I itself looks as form, Mr. So-and-so. Therefore, you don't have to go after the rituals, etc. What is important for you is to study Vedanta and relax and think in life about yourself. What is the knowing self? You see? Tam kena vijaniyati ticham tatham upasti kriya karmatvam pratishedho vibhavati yadvacham anabhyuditam yena vagabhyudyate iti avishayatvam brahmanaha upanyasya tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedamedidam upasate iti. So, one of the Shuddha says, it also says, upasti kriya karmatva pratishedho bhavati. There is also a refutation, there is also correction of man's thinking. There is also a statement which says, hey, the form that you worship is not the truth. Upasti kriya karmatva pratishedho bhavati. It is said, the form that you worship is not the truth. You may use the form for a prayer, that is a different thing, but don't mistake the very form for the truth. You see, national flag you can use to think of the country, but the flag itself is not the country. The flag itself is not the country. Similarly, here the form is used for a certain purpose, but don't take it to be this. What does it say? Yad vacha anabhyuditam. Yad vacha anabhyuditam. What cannot be described through words? Vacha, by the vak, na abhyuditam. What is not describable through words? Yena vag abhyudyate. In fact, because of which awareness the words themselves are able to be spoken. The very source of words, the object of words is not the truth, but the source of words is the truth. Yena vag abhyudyate. Iti avishayatvam brahmanaha upanyasya. In this manner, having stated that Brahman is an object of word, but the source of the word, from where the words emerge, behind the words is the speaker. The speaker is behind the words, and that speaker, if we analyze, is none other than a conscious being. That conscious being is the truth. Neither the words are the truth, words are a creation, and the object of words are also a creation. Abhidanam is a srishti, abhidheyam also is a srishti. Whereas the source of the words is not a creation, and that source is nothing but the very speaker of the words. The speaker of the words means the very willer of the words, the very thinker of the words, the very speaker of the words. And who is the speaker? He is Atma, the Chetanam, the conscious being. Thus, having stated that Brahman is not an object of words, then it says, Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi. Understand that to be Brahman. Brahman is the very source of the words, not the object of words. Nedamedidam upasate is not the form which you worship. You can worship God through a form thinking that it is knowing very well this form is not the truth, but I am only using the form to think of the truth. That is a different matter. It is a matter of upasana. In upasana it is valid. But to conclude that truth is a form, that would be wrong. Therefore, Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi Nedamedam Upasate Iti. Next. Abhishayatve Brahmanah Shastrayonitva Anupapattiriti Chet. Now, we have a small objection. You know, a Purvapakshi raises a question here. That question is, if Brahman is not an object, if Brahman is not a sense object, Shastra Yonitva Anupapattiriti Chet, and then how can Shastram be a Pramanam? Meaning, if it is not an object, it means it is not existent. As per the doubter, if it is not an object, then it is not an existent. If it is not an object, then it is not existent. If it is not existent, then what is Shastra talking about? What is Shastra talking about? If it is non-existent, then what is it talking about? You know, this is Purvapaksha. Now, before we take up Siddhanta, you know, it can be put the other way also. In fact, I can give the answer right there. We can see the answer like this. We can tell the Purvapaksha like this. Because it is not a sense object, Shastram is a Pramana. Why? Because if it is a sense object, then the sense organs are the Pramana. We don't require Shastram. You don't require Shastram for a sense object. If it is a sense object, then the sense organs are there to see it. Why do you have to go to Shastram? Shastram cannot be the Pramana. In fact, for the Shastram to be a Pramanam, the subject matter of the Shastra should not be a sense object. For the Shastram to be a valid Pramanam, the subject matter of the Shastram should not be a sense object. Why? If it is a sense object, then the sense organs can know it. I don't have to I have to use the senses. I can use the eyes. Like, you know, if God is a form, then why do I have to go to Shastram? I can open my eyes and see it. If it is a sound, I can rectify my ears and hear it. If I can understand, you know, suppose even if I can't hear, I can go to an ENT specialist. Aajkal mujhe Brahma Jignasa ho rahi hai. I want to know Brahman. बहुत जरूरी है. वैसे तो I don't want to hear what goes on in the house, but I want to hear Brahman. Therefore, थोड़ा rectify कर लो. You can rectify eyes, you can rectify ears, and then go after Brahman. I don't have to study Shastram. Why headache? So, the students of Vedanta must be smart, intelligent enough to understand this point. If the Shastram has to be a valid Pramana, then the subject matter of the Shastra should not be a sense object. But the Purvapakshi says, if it is not a sense object, then Shastram, how can it be a Pramana? Why does he ask this question? Because he has a conclusion that if it is not an object, then it is non-existent. If it is non-existent, then Shastram also is of no use. This is the doubt for which the Siddhanta says, not true. Avidya kalpitam bheda nivritti paratvat shastrasya. So, he says Shastram is a pramanam, not by way of presenting Brahman in the form of an object, but nor is it meant to reveal the existence of oneself, the truth. Neither it is meant to present Brahman as an object, because Brahman cannot be an object, nor is it meant to make it evident, the unevident evident, because Brahman is already evident as oneself. So the Shastram is meant only to remove the confusion about the felt truth. It is not meant to bring about a new feeling about the truth. It is meant to clear the confusion about the felt truth. Let me change the language a little. It is not meant to present Brahman as an object, nor is it meant to create a new feeling about the truth. Because the feeling is already there. That is called evidence. I am is a feeling. Let me use the word feeling. Actually, it is not a feeling like an emotion. I am is evidence. I am the waker, I am the dreamer. I am there in all that I see, I am there. In all that I hear, I am there. In all that I taste, touch, smell, I am there. In all my pleasures, I am there. In pains, I am there. In every pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hivindate. In every meditation, in every thought, I am there. Therefore, it is a felt truth. But about that felt truth, there is a confusion between the felt subject and the form, the object. There is a time. And that is removed by the Shastram. That is what is said, avidya kalpita, born of ignorance, born of non-understanding. Bheda nivritti. So, bheda is what? The division. Avidya kalpita bheda. The non-understanding bond, confusion with the body, and the non-understanding bond, sense of division between oneself and the world. The non-understanding bond, sense of equation with the form, and the non-understanding bond, sense of division between oneself and the world. This is what is called avidya kalpita bheda. And nivritti, negation of this false equation with the form and the false division. It is meant to rectify correct the divisions. Because fundamentally there is no division. Therefore there is no use of fighting also with people. Because fundamentally there is no division. There is no use of living one's life with an idea that I must settle scores with that person. See, you have been making effort to settle scores with one person, and you neglected everything else. And then suddenly he dies. Then what will you do? Supposing that person suddenly dies, then what will you do? Adhura rah jayenge na. Suddenly that man dies. Therefore it is a waste of time. Apna karma hai. The best approach in life is, if somebody has hurt you, let God handle it. I am telling you, you will get a relief. Let God handle it. I mean, do whatever you can, you defend your interest all right to the extent possible, but still, hurts continue. But then what do? Let God handle it. You protect your peace. Do whatever you can to protect your peace and live in peace, rather than living with a sense of vendetta, revenge, vagaira. Because, it consumes man. Where is Shanti if I am thinking about somebody fretting and fuming? मेरा brother-in-law ने ये किया, मेरा sister-in-law ने ये किया, मेरा बहू ने ये किया, ब्रेकफास्ट में कभी चाय ठीक से बना के देती ही नहीं थी, पंजाबी लड़की होने पर भी दूध नहीं डालती थी. All छोटे छोटे बातों में really we get into trouble. Just leave it, sit down and simply say Namah Shivaya. भगवान में मन लगा के शांति से बैठो. Why? Because not only they are useless, fundamentally there are no divisions, really. Fundamentally, whatever one is, the same is, the others are all. That is why when Rama and Ravana share the same room and fall asleep, what is the difference? Ravana is lying there, Ramji is sleeping here, Ravan is sleeping there, only two forms. Now Rama's form and Ravana's form, there is no difference, both are elements. And both are fast asleep, there are no minds. What is there is only one Shanti. That is the truth. There is no idea that I am Ram different from Ravana, nor there is an idea that I am a Ravana different from Ram. Truth to wahi hai. And therefore Shastram is meant to liberate man by way of pulling him out of his sense of equation and division. That is the purpose of Shastra. Shastra is meant to resolve divisions. Therefore, avidya kalpita bheda nivritti paratvat shastrasya nahi shastram idantaya vishayaputam brahma pratipipadayishati. Nahi shastram idantaya. That idantaya means as an object. This, idam means this. Idanta means as this. Idantaya, idam, and then idanta tal pratyaya, and then tritiya ekvachan idantaya, meaning as an object. As an object. Vishayabhutam as an object. Brahma nahi pratipipadayishati. It is not, Shastram is not interested in presenting God as an object, a form. That's not its approach. Na pratipadayitum ichhati means that is not its intention. Shastram talks about truth, but it doesn't present it as an object. But it presents the truth as the subject. It is this very seer is the truth, but the seer of everything is indeed the truth, and the confusion is there that the same conscious being mistakes himself as a form. So he looks at himself as both subject and object. This is the contradiction. The very subject is seen as the object of thought. That means I see myself is called avidya. I am the seer, but I also make myself an object. I see myself is the avidya. I see myself is avidya. I see myself, I hear myself, I taste myself, touch myself, smell myself. I am both the subject of my thinking, I am also the object of my thinking. This is the fatal error about the absolute. I am both karta and karma. In actuality, we are neither the karta nor karma. We are like, when this situation resolves, as in deep sleep, this situation resolves, there is only absolute, in which there is no sense of, there is no relation of subject-object division. Therefore, nahi shastram idantaya vishayabhutam brahma pratipipadeshati. It doesn't present the truth in the form of an object. Then how does it present? Kim tarihi pratyagatmatvena avishayatayam pratipipadayat avidya kalpitam vedya veditri vedanadi bhedam apanayati. What does the Shastram do? It presents the truth as the very subject. As the very person. This very person is none other than the truth. So presenting the truth as the very subject, and then it says further, pratyagatmatvena as the subject, avishayataya as a non-object but as the subject, pratipadayat, pratipadan karte huए, shatru, pratipadit karte huए, pratipadayat shastram, pratipadayat, pratipadan karte huए, presenting the truth as the very subject. What does it do? Avidya kalpitam. Avidya kalpita, the error about it. Vedya veditru vedanadi bhedam, the subject-object division. Vedya means the object, Vedana means, Vedya means the object, Veditru means the subject, Vedana means the sense of division. The subject-object and the relation, that I know the object. I am the subject knowing the object. This is called subject-object division. Vedya veditru vedanadi bhedam adipadat kartru karma kriya ityadi bhedam. Apanayati negates. What does the Shastram do? It presents the truth as the very subject, and in the course of teaching, it makes you see the falsity of the subject-object division. Negates the subject-object. Pratipadayat vedya veditru. Vedya veditru vedana is false. If the subject-object division is false, then the upasana, upasaka, upasya division also is false. Imaginary, imagined division also is, relation also is false. Inferer, inferred is false. Pramatru, pramana, prame, bhava is false. That is why he brings in, Vedya, Veditru, Vedana includes all kinds of thoughts. Subject-object relation is false means imaginary, imagined, inferer, inferred, worshipper, worshipped, thinker, thought. In fact, all relationships fall within subject-object relation. It's a very important thing. There is no other relation in this world really. There is only one relation, subject-object relation. Pita, Putra, father-son relation also is what? It's only subject-object relation. Because what do you see in the father? Only the object. You are the seer, and what do you see? A form. That form you call, if the form is a walking form, you call him a father. But if it is a still form, then you call it just a form. Frightening form. If the form becomes still, then do you keep it overnight? Supposing, the still form, dead form, father is gone, there is only form lying. Can you spend one night with him? Form is lying. Try. Rama, you will have no sleep. You will be wondering, kya hoga? Therefore, try its father's form. कोई बात नहीं, जल्दी जल्दी dispose it off. Therefore, कभी कभी लाइन लगे रहते हैं, वहां पर जगह नहीं मिलती है. You see? Why? One can't spend time. Therefore, what we call this father-son relation and wife-husband relation, teacher-student relation, any relation, they're all vikalpas on one relation called subject-object relation. They're all vikalpas on the same. It's all nothing but subject-object relation. Same adhyasa. Therefore, Shastram presents the truth as the very subject. It looks at the very person as the truth and then explains the actuality of the person, the swarupa of the person, and shows the falsity of the division, subject-object. You are a peaceful being. Taken for a form, you feel you are a peaceless being, unhappy struggler. But the conscious being, as it is a non-dual being. Therefore, the man finds peace in figuring out himself. There is no other way. Aki, whatever may one do, the whole life he may be doing, which is of no use. If a person is staying at home and trying to figure out himself, he is living a life of a sannyasa. But if a person is living in an ashram and not trying to figure out himself, it is of no use. Whether one lives at home or in the ashram, in a cave, under a tree, or a mountain cave, or a nadi, tatam, a river bank, or here or on the moon, it doesn't matter as long as he is spending his day-to-day life to look at what the Shastram says and really diligently trying to figure out what he is, then that is a reflective life. That is the only answer to this jiva struggle. Iti. Clear? Pradipadayati kim tarihi pratyagatmatvena avishayataya pradipipadayat pratipadayat avidya kalvidam vedya veditru vedanadi vedam apanayati tatha shastram yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasaha avijñātam vijānatam vijñātam vijānatam na drishter drishtaram pasyēhe na vijñātehe vijñātaram vijānīyāha iti jaivamādi. Now we have also, here are the vakyas, very beautiful vakyas. This particular Vakya, Yasyamatam Tasya Matam Yasyana Vedasaha, this particular Vakya is quoted by some of the jokers who say, it is not a statement of humility. Those who say we know, then they don't know. Those who say they don't know, they know. Aisa nahi. And it is a kind of a humility. And then they come up with the age-old saying, जिनके पास है वो कभी नहीं कहते हैं कि मेरे पास है. Punjabi statement, They are very beautiful. जिनके पास है वो कभी नहीं कहता है. जिनके पास पैसा होता है ना, वो कभी नहीं कहता है मेरे पास पैसा है. जब पैसा नहीं होता है तब कहते मेरे पास बहुत पैसा है. इसलिए जो भी कहते हैं आई गॉट लॉट ऑफ ज्ञानम, उनके पास कुछ नहीं है. जो कहते हैं कि मेरे पास कुछ ज्ञान नहीं, उनके पास बहुत भंडार है. दिस इज नॉट लाइक दैट. It is not like that. Means, yasya amatam tasya matam means, for whom Brahman is not an object. The one who understands truth as a non-object, he understands. Yasya amatam tasya matam. For whom truth, the one who has understood that the truth is not an object of thought, he has understood. Not the one who has believed, but the one who has understood that the truth is not an object of thought, he has understood. Matam yasyana vedasaha, the one who thinks that the truth is an object of thought, he has not understood. Meaning what? The one who thinks the truth is another object, he has not understood it. But the one who has understood that God is not an object, he has understood. The one who thinks it is a form, he has not understood. The one who thinks it is formless, he has understood. It's non-object. Similarly, avijñātam vijānatam. Vijānatam means for the wise. Avijñātam, it's not an object of knowledge. As per the wise, truth is not an object of perception. Vijñātam avijānatam. For the unwise, it is an object of perception. For the wise, it is not an object of perception. For the unwise, it's an object of perception. Now what is it? It is a statement of fact, not a statement of attitude, humility. And they first ask, do you know the truth? If you say, I know the truth, oh, that means you don't know. And if you are honest and honestly say, I don't know the truth, then they will say, oh, that means you know the truth. Koti, koti, pranams. This is all, we have got this. Vedanta brings about great men in this world, great acharyas, but also a lot of jokers. That is why I am telling all this, because nowadays I don't come across all this, but I used to come across. Ultimately, you want to impress the people through your humility. All right, now you tell me, you are teaching anyway. Now you tell me, do you know or you don't know? Now I can also adopt the same logic. Do you know or you don't know? If you say you know, then you don't know. If you say you know, then you should not be teaching because you don't know. If you say you don't know, and I take it for granted, then you should not be teaching. If you say you don't know, you should not be teaching. If you say you know, also you should not be teaching, because you don't know. In either way you don't know. I can interpret that way. When you say you know, you don't know. You know means you don't know. You don't know means you don't know. In either way you don't know. That means you should not be teaching. In this manner, these are the great unfolding statements, can't be interpreted in as their emotions. Okay. Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasaha avijñātam vijānatam vijñāt. Say a person knows it, and if he says, I know it, what does it mean? Does he become ignorant? You have money, and you say, I have money. Do you become poor? And if a person says, if a person doesn't have money, and if he says, I have money, does he become rich? Does he become rich? No. If a person knows, and if he says, I know, does he become really ignorant? No. He is not going to give ignorant. Nor is it a statement of ego. It is a statement of fact. If somebody says, do you know grammar? Yes, I know grammar. Does he lose it? If a person says, do you know the reality taught by Vedanta? He says, yes, I know it. Does he become ignorant? If he knows it, and if he says he knows it, that is a statement of fact. He is not going to become ignorant, nor is it a statement of ego. Why should it be a statement of ego? Why should it be a statement of ego? He is saying a statement of fact. Why? Because he is not trying to collect students by showing, see, oh, if you say I know it, then you become very egoistic, then nobody will come to hear. What is the use of students? What is the use of such students who don't differentiate between a statement of fact and a statement of this humility? What is the use? It's a waste of time. Therefore, yasya matam tasya matam yasya na vedasaha avijñātam vijānatam is a statement of, it is a descriptive of the nature of the truth. Meaning, if you think it is an object, you don't know. And if you have understood that it is not an object, you have understood. Believing that it is not an object is different from understanding that it is not an object. If I have understood that it is not an object, then I have understood it is the very subject. Okay. Next. Na drishtehe drashtaram pashyehe. Says, nahi drishtehe drashtaram. Here, this is a different. You know, in Brihadaranyaka, one vakya, nahi drashtuhu drishter viparilopo vid. The drishti of drashta has no negation. Here it is said, the drashta of the drishti cannot be objectified. Are you able to follow? You have to do little exercise. In one vakya, drishti is presented as the fundamental awareness. Here, the drashta is presented as the awareness. Here, drishtehe drashtaram means, it should mean the indriya drishti jo hai, uska drashta. Pratyakshaadi jo drishti hai, uska jo drashta hai. Jisko drishti कहते हैं, हिंदी वाक्या नहीं दृष्टे है नहीं द्रष्टु दृष्टेर विपरिलोको विद्यते अविनाशित्वात्. So the very seer of the eyes can't be seen. The seer of the eyes can't be seen in that sense, more or less. Meaning the seer of the sight cannot be seen. The seer of the eyes cannot be seen. The seer of the eyes cannot be seen. And that seer of the eyes is the real sight. You see? And therefore, all through these vakyas, what is presented is, say, truth is not an object of senses. And therefore not an object of imagination. And therefore not an object of inference. It is purely an object of understanding, as one said. It's purely a topic for education. And that education also is a corrective education. Na vijñātehe vijñātāram vijānīyāha. The very seer of the thought can't be thought of. The very seer of the thought, the very source of the thought, the very seer of the thought cannot be thought of. Nahi vijñātehe vijñātāram vijānīyāha iti ca evamādi. And the vakyas like these all go to prove what? They all go to prove that Brahman is not an object of vidikriya, and therefore it is not an object of upasti kriya, upasana kriya, and therefore it is not an object of perception or thought or memory or imagination or emotion or inference, and therefore ye dimag ka vishay nahi hai. That does not mean you give it up. It is dimag ka vishay hai in a different way. It can be understood as the subject, not as the object. And it can to be able to understand it as a subject means not objectifying the subject, but discerning between subject and object is the way of understanding the subject. Here understanding is purely viveka, nothing else. Purely viveka rupa. It is a viveka. This viveka means generally, we may translate it as, we don't look at the word. We think as though it is intelligence. Viveka means discerning. Discerning between the aparoksham and the pratyaksham is the way of understanding. It's like discerning between, you see, the appearance and reality. Discerning between oneself, the I and the rest, is viveka. Not objectifying the I, but discerning the I and the world which is available for objectification. This viveka is called viveka. Viveka is not in a general discrimination. The power of understanding, the capacity to understand, these are all translations you will come across all stupid. They don't convey anything. Discerning between two dissimilar things is viveka. Like in dharma and adharma, before marriage I should not really have thick relationship with any joka. And having any thick relation with any joka is one thing, and to stay at home and keep studying and waiting for the parents to find out a boy, or you find out a boy who is right. But without deciding, don't develop emotion. This is right, this is wrong. That discerning is called viveka. This is right, this is wrong. That is called viveka. And if a person doesn't have viveka, supposing a girl doesn't have viveka, then what will she do? Any boy who has got overactive thyroid. You understand? Overactive thyroid means tall. He is very tall and all that. Then she will develop a thick relationship, and afterwards you will discover he is not only unemployed but unemployable. Therefore, dharma, adharma, in fact, education on dharma is more in the form of discerning between dharma. It is more viveka. Dharma jnanam also is a viveka rupa. A lot of education is in the form of discerning the right from the wrong. And it is more so when it comes to Atma Jnanam. It is only discerning between oneself and the rest. In fact, even in Dharma Jnanam, there is only a viveka because we live with the dharma, we live with adharma with the idea that it is dharma. There is a confusion between dharma and adharma. Right and wrong get confused, really. And I have to discern between that. It is a viveka rupa. That is what Shastram does. It's called viveka. Okay, we will continue it later. Thus, Shastram is useful, sir, by way of helping you understand yourself as distinct reality from the name and form. Distinct reality. In that way, Shastram is useful. Don't say Shastram has no utility, or just because God is not an object, that doesn't mean it is not there. God is not an object, that doesn't mean He is not there, because He is there in the form of the very subject. And Shastram is meant to help us understand it. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Mudishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. भगवान भाष्यकार ने बहुत अच्छा काम करके चले गए. पूरा संप्रदाय को, परंपरा को लिख के चले गए. Otherwise, the Swamis would have got into trouble. Well, what to study? What to study? There was no bhashyam. It would have been free for all. Then it would have continued, but a lot of has been made easier at least. At least you can sit down and go through the entire vision is अपने आप. एक बार श्रवण किया, फिर बाद में बैठ के एकांत में Shikara has done a lot of service. This is a great thing, and it is going to be there forever. Hari Om. Narayana. Hari Om, Hari Om, Namah Shivaya. Hari Om. You're all right? Walking चलता है. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om. पढ़ाई चलता है. पेंटिंग का काम. कौन सी स्कूल में? कॉलेज ऑफ आर्ट. अच्छा, ठीक है, बढ़िया. ओ रामा.
Very little, Swami, share करने की.
Even this is more. Oh, ji. have it if you like it. If you don't like it, then leave it. Good. चाय पीते समय दाहिने हाथ से पीना चाहिए, बाएं हाथ से नहीं. ये बाएं हाथ से came from this what we call this Karachi and Pakistani habit है. कोई भी खाते हैं दाहिने हाथ से खाना, पीते हैं दाहिने हाथ से पीना, ये ठीक नहीं. में भी कुछ एस्थेटिक्स होता है जी, एस्थेटिक्स होता है. Has certain aesthetics. Achara includes not only hygiene but also aesthetics. Sundarata like aesthetics, you see, you comb the hair back. You don't comb the hair down. You comb the hair down and cover your eyes. Bhagavan also, he has created hair tending to go backwards. You look like Bhutam. You see, like Bhutam. How many people? Just take it back so that you will be able to see properly. It's like becomes a veil. There are so many veils inside. हम saying externally there should be no veil. Oh, externally भी एक veil लगा देते. Then there is a veil. You can't even see. That means what? You can't see. Inside you can't see. Outside. Ultimately what matters is these things you see, the fashions are of no use really. Fashions are of no use. It should be practical, not fashionable. It should be practical, not fashionable. Practical. What is practical? Have right habits. That is being practical. Do your duty, practical. Learn things, that is practical. And have self-control, that is practical. Self-control, is it fashion or important? Important. It's not a fashion. Because fashions come and go. But self-control is a perennial need. And first self-control is, you see, the first self-control is control your weight. This is the first control. The first self-control. Control your body weight, for which do whatever you want. Then control your inner impulses, anger, etc. That makes you, that gives you much more in life. Self-control gives you much more in life than controlling the world, really. Controlling people, controlling the world, controlling money gives you actually nothing beyond, in fact doesn't give you anything, it only gives you musibat. But self-control gives you much more in life. It gives you good health, it gives you mental peace, it can give you a guilt-free heart, it gives you inspiration to know. In fact, it sets you in motion towards yourself. Self-control, turns you back to yourself. I mean, so to speak. That's much better, self-control. Therefore, the real accomplishment is in the form of self-control. Is it a fashion or important? To be practical means to follow all the important things in life. That is being practical. He is a practical person means what? He follows all important things in life, values. And minus those values and minus those essentials, even if I have control over an estate, control over everybody, control over Mem Saab. In fact, don't control people also too much because they keep praying, kab chale jaye aapko, so that we can get free. ये भी गड़बड़ होता है, I am telling you. That is the truth. Supposing you give, किसी को ऋण दे दो, give a few lakhs, without any receipt, without any whatever is that, something in writing. आप रख लो ये 20 लाख, जब बाद में दे देना. And you give it to him. And if he is not a right person, what will he do? Hey Bhagwan, jaldi jaldi, ye chale jaye. हाँ जी, you will always pray for your shorter life. Therefore, don't really nag people, otherwise they will silently be praying to God, all gadbad for you. Ashirvad nahi denge. Therefore, you don't worry about controlling this person, that person. Control yourself. Let everybody control himself. Anyway, you want to control somebody, because you are used to controlling. Therefore, you better control yourself. अपने आप को कंट्रोल करो. यहाँ पर तो there is no curses. But if you control others, then श्राप देते रहेंगे वो लोग. अच्छा. Therefore, the best thing is self-control. ओम नमः शिवाय. काफी है आज के लिए. Sunday we just come here, थोड़ा गप्पा लगा के जाए. So that the rest of the day you can feel anyway you have done good job. As if Riyomji, nice, keep coming. You are in Delhi. You are not in Delhi. You are in Bombay. Why don't you shift to Delhi?